Employee motivation is a flawed concept. Well, hold on. Even before you take out your guns, let me tell you that as an organization, you have limited or no control on employee motivation. Now, the basic premise behind employee motivation is that organizations want to retain good employees, and at the same time, they also want to make sure that their employees are productive. Well, let's talk about some of the stats. Now, if you are a mid-sized organization or a big organization, you still can't create a work environment as good as that is there with Google, Apple, or Facebook. But if you go ahead and Google it, Google attrition rate, Facebook attrition rate, Apple attrition rate, there is attrition, right? Of course, it will look like that it is lesser than the industry standard, but there is attrition, right? Well, this means that there are people who are still not satisfied with that kind of work environment. Now, let's talk about some bitter truth. People who decided to stay back with these organizations, think about it. If you are in Silicon Valley employed with Google, Apple, or Facebook, the name and the place comes with a kind of status symbol, right? And for many people and their family members, these status symbols are so much dear that they can't afford to lose it. Apart from that, there are people who got used to the lifestyle or all the facilities, perks that are being provided there. They can't afford to lose it because it will be difficult to get somewhere else. Sorry guys, if you are listening to me, I and you both know this is the reality. Now, why I'm talking about this and why I'm giving this example. Now, the basic concept of employee motivation comes down to huge pay, less work, and people can do whatever they want. And most of the time, whether they are available in office or not, it doesn't matter. Of course, they will be doing something, they will be contributing to something, but it doesn't matter. Nothing gets impacted if they are out of office for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? But they are getting huge amount of pay, and maybe they will be working 3, 4 days a week, and they get a chance to do something else, spend time with their family. Now, I disagree with this. The thought of giving huge pay, less work, multiple facilities can motivate an employee. No, it doesn't. In all probability, these things will make one person more dumb rather than making them motivated. Okay. Now, everyone is unique. Each and every individual is motivated by different things. You don't have any control on that. Everybody will have different reason to get motivated. Let me give you some examples, right? I'm in India, and in here, most of the freshers who join multiple companies or even the people with 5 to 10 years of experience, majority of them, and I'm saying this based on my own experience of talking to and interacting with people for more than 2 decades. Most of the time, their motivation doesn't depends upon where you put them, what work you give, which team you allow them to work with, what kind of latest technologies you allow them to work with. Doesn't matter. You know what motivates most of them? H1B visa. Yes, you heard it right. No matter what work you ask them to do, whether it is good or not, if someone is motivated by H1B visa, they will not be motivated by any other thing, no matter what you do. And at that moment of time, anybody which can fulfill this requirement or this desire, they will go ahead and work there. You can't do anything about it, right? There are other similar reasons too. Somebody is very much motivated by taking a permanent residency in some other country, and they would love to work with the organization who can send them on site, especially to Canada or Australia, so that they can work there for a few years and apply for permanent residency. And the work experience, the local work experience, will be helpful. Similarly, there are some weird reasons to get motivated also. Some of them would be that, if you could be put into a department or a location where you already have, or there is a chance to have a romantic relationship, of course, people will be motivated to be there. And similar to this, there are multiple weird and non-weird regions to get motivated, and organizations have limited or no control on this, right? So that's the reason I say that employee motivation is a flawed concept. Now, I don't say that go back to medieval practices. No. You have to make sure that there is an industry standard, there is laws and regulations, everything needs to be taken care of. And you need to have a work environment where people come and work with dignity and at least some kind of satisfaction. I'm not talking about motivation, some kind of satisfaction, just like, whatever they are getting is worth it in terms of recognition as well as remunerations. But we need to understand one thing beyond that, we can satisfy people to some extent, but we can't motivate people because their motivating regions are different. And if the organization really want to motivate people, they need to go to the individual person and ask them what motivates them. And if it is in their control, just like, placing them on site location, then they must do it, which is uh, impractical, I guess. Now, what organizations should do instead? Well, we have to understand that, the relation between employees and an organization is at best a temporary engagement, right? This is one reality which everyone knows, but nobody want to, bring that to the front or even talk about it. My idea is that, association between employees and the organization is at best temporary, and we should not expect a lifetime commitment out of this. And in today's world where lifetime commitments are going down day by day, we should not expect this from the employee. We can't motivate them to stay with a particular organization forever. There will be some people, but whether they stay out of motivation or something else, it's anybody's guess. Now, if this is a temporary association, it needs to be mutually beneficial for the employee as well as for the organization. And as long as we understand this, it can be mutually beneficial for the individual as well as for the organization. And I guess rather than just talking about employee motivation, we should talk about how we can engage employees, how organizations can engage employees so that it is mutually beneficial for everyone. I know it might be less beneficial for the organization or more for the employee or vice versa, right? Less for the employee, but more for the organization. But we have to understand this. We have to come up with a conclusion that, okay, let's say that in the next 1 year, this is what we will do, and this is what you will get, and this is what I will get. Rather than a blind employee motivation creating some office environment or something like that, we should move towards in this direction. And I know there are many great thinkers in the IT industry, and I'm sure that they are going to think about it. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching. We will meet again. Until the next time we meet, good day, goodbye. You take care.